It has to be a tough pill to swallow when a man loses his wife or longtime girlfriend to someone who never really put in the effort. Think about it. You were the one paying her bills, taking her out, supporting her through everything, listening to her drama, and standing by her side for years. Then, out of nowhere, a new guy shows up, barely knows her, and suddenly he's the one enjoying all the benefits. That's got to sting. No one's saying you were perfect. Maybe you made mistakes, maybe you cheated, or maybe things just fell apart. But regardless, you put in the work and now she's gone. What makes it worse is when she ends up with another man and even gets pregnant by him while she's still technically married to you. You're left sitting there thinking, really? After everything we went through? To make matters worse, the new guy doesn't even measure up. He's not doing half of what you did, yet she's out here calling him her blessing. Then people online start catching on, saying things like, wait a minute, her new man already has 2 kids by other women. And how does she respond? She acts unbothered, defends him, and pretends everything's fine. Meanwhile, everyone can see she settled for far less than what she had before. Sometimes it's not the loss that hurts most, it's watching someone you love downgrade and convince themselves they're happier for it.
Hello, Barbara. This is Shirley. Yeah, busy. Yeah, that's the baby dad, bitch. That's my baby dad too, girl. Well, what now? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's exactly how Cardi B reacted, typical of her. Recently, I've noticed a lot of women saying some strange things about Offset, almost as if they're defending him or trying to justify his behavior. It's surprising how quickly people forget the drama, the public arguments, and all the times she called him out. Now, suddenly, it's like everyone's on his side, acting as if he's some misunderstood guy who just made a few mistakes. Maybe it's the charm, the fame, or the way he talks, but it's wild how easily people rewrite the story.
No, Offset has spoken. When I tell y'all the man is hurt, he is hurt. Because why are you on this internet speaking about a woman that you did wrong the whole entire marriage and embarrassed multiple times? Give it up to Offset. He said Stefan Diggs crossed the ultimate disrespect line. He said if Stefan got Cardi pregnant, they could have at least waited until the divorce was finalized and waited for a year to have a baby. This man said out here trying to play stepdaddy, forgetting who played house first. Rephrase that, but no, he really said out here playing stepdaddy and forgetting who ran the house first.
He really said it, out here playing stepdaddy and forgetting who ran the house first. A bold statement, but one that resonates with many people who've experienced heartbreak and confusion after a relationship ends. Relationships often dissolve in complicated and painful ways, especially when deep emotions and shared history are involved. Losing someone you once loved, whether it's your wife, the mother of your children, or a longtime partner, can be one of the hardest experiences to process. It's not just about losing a person. It's about losing the version of yourself that existed within that relationship. Imagine putting years of time, effort, and emotion into building something with someone. You were there through their highs and lows, paying bills, offering emotional support, listening to late-night rants, and standing by their side when life wasn't easy. You made sacrifices, put your dreams on hold, and believed you were building a shared future. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, a new man shows up. He hasn't been through the struggle, hasn't carried the emotional weight, and yet he's suddenly the one reaping all the rewards. Anyone in that position would feel frustrated, angry, or even humiliated. It's a natural reaction. Jealousy and resentment often surface first. After all, you invested so much of yourself into that person, you loved her deeply and believed you were creating something lasting. But over time, perspective shifts. The fog of heartbreak begins to clear, and you start to see the situation differently. Her actions with her new partner start revealing more about her than about you. It's a painful realization, but it's also a liberating one. It teaches you about value, self-respect, and the importance of boundaries. When a man witnesses a woman who once demanded so much from him suddenly accept far less from another man, something inside him changes forever. Once that line is crossed, there's no going back. The respect, admiration, and emotional connection begin to fade. He may still care on some level, but deep down, he knows that something fundamental has shifted, not because she moved on, but because she lowered her own standards. That change in perception can't be undone. This realization doesn't come overnight. At first, men feel heartbreak, confusion, and even self-doubt. They question their worth, wondering what went wrong and why their effort wasn't enough. But as time passes, clarity emerges. They begin to see how imbalanced the relationship truly was. Many men realize that they were overgiving emotionally, financially, and mentally while receiving far less in return. That's when the internal switch flips. Instead of grieving what they lost, they begin to understand that perhaps they were the ones who were shortchanged all along. That moment of awakening is strange, yet powerful. Pain slowly transforms into clarity. From that point forward, a man starts reflecting not only on the relationship but also on himself. He remembers the things he tolerated, the arguments, the double standards, the lack of appreciation, the small acts of disrespect he brushed off in the name of love or stability. Without the emotional fog, he begins to see the truth. Every flaw he once ignored becomes crystal clear. The irony is that those same issues are now the new man's problems. The woman hasn't changed. She's simply relocated her unresolved habits and behaviors into a new relationship. This is a truth many people overlook. If you leave one relationship without self-reflection or accountability, you carry the same emotional baggage into the next one. You can blame your ex all you want, but if you never look in the mirror and acknowledge your own role in the downfall, you'll repeat the same cycle indefinitely. A breakup doesn't automatically make one person innocent. Most failed relationships involve mistakes on both sides. Growth only happens when both people are honest about what they contributed to the damage. Now, let's consider this from the woman's perspective. Suppose she left because her man cheated or made serious mistakes. Maybe she had every reason to walk away. But if she jumps straight into another relationship without taking time to heal, reflect, or grow, the pattern continues. On the surface, it might look like she's winning, she's moved on, she's smiling, she's living her best life, but over time, reality sets in. The new partner begins noticing the same toxic traits her ex once complained about, the same arguments, the same attitude, the same refusal to take responsibility. Eventually, the new man realizes that the problem wasn't just the ex, it's her unresolved behavior. The cycle repeats itself, and history starts all over again. At that point, it's no longer about who was right or wrong in the past. It's about the lack of growth that keeps both people stuck. This is why self-reflection after a breakup is crucial. Without it, men and women alike end up hurting new partners in the same ways they were once hurt. For men, the emotional evolution after heartbreak often follows a familiar pattern. At first, they feel devastated, angry, confused, maybe even bitter. But once they accept that the relationship is truly over, they begin to analyze everything. They look back on the red flags they ignored, the sacrifices they made, and the identity they lost in trying to make someone else happy. Slowly, they start to rebuild their confidence. They rediscover who they were before the relationship drained them. Eventually, they stop seeing their ex as someone they lost and start viewing her as someone who was never truly right for them. When a woman leaves a stable relationship and begins accepting less from someone new, it doesn't prove independence, it exposes insecurity. There's a difference between walking away from pain to protect your peace and walking away just to prove you can. True strength isn't about moving on quickly. It's about healing completely. Settling for less after demanding more doesn't signal empowerment, it signals confusion and a lack of direction. This concept perfectly mirrors what's been unfolding publicly between Cardi B and Offset. Their relationship, filled with ups, downs, love, and controversy, has always been under a microscope. Recently, conversations online have focused on Cardi's rumored connection with NFL player Stefon Diggs, and some people claim Offset is jealous. But if you look deeper, jealousy might not be the right word. Offset, like many men who've experienced emotional betrayal, may simply be reflecting. It's not about wanting her back, it's about realizing he once poured himself into a relationship that didn't value him equally. When that realization hits, the pain starts to fade, replaced by a strange sense of relief. He's not jealous that she moved on. He's aware that she might be repeating the same cycle, accepting less than she once demanded. When Cardi B publicly embraced her rumored new relationship, many fans interpreted it as her getting back at Offset. But to others, it looked more like she was settling, choosing attention over peace, and short-term validation over long-term stability. That doesn't make her weak, it makes her human. but it also highlights the danger of moving on too fast without truly healing. Meanwhile, Offset seems to be rediscovering his balance. Despite his flaws like his rumored gambling habits, he appears to be choosing peace over chaos. His energy feels different, calmer, more reflective. That's not ego, that's awareness. Once a man realizes that his worth isn't tied to how much a woman values him, he starts living differently. He stops chasing validation from people who never truly appreciated his presence. When people settle for less in new relationships, they often reveal deeper insecurities. They crave the feeling of being wanted, even if it means sacrificing self-respect. That short-term comfort comes at a long-term cost. It shapes how others perceive them and, more importantly, how they perceive themselves. Once you lower your standards, it becomes much harder to raise them again. Many fans have also pointed out that Cardi's current behavior doesn't align with the independence she often promotes. Instead of representing strength, it seems to reveal vulnerability, a fear of being alone, a discomfort with silence, and an inability to heal privately. True power isn't about proving a point through new relationships. It's about growing quietly when no one is watching. Offset's approach, on the other hand, seems to reflect a deeper kind of strength. Letting go doesn't always mean losing, it can mean reclaiming your peace. When someone publicly embarrasses you or drains your energy, the most empowering thing you can do is move on gracefully. The person who finds peace always wins in the long run. Cardi B may continue to dominate headlines with her fame and charisma, but her choices tell a different story. When patterns repeat themselves, people start to see beyond the performance. Money and fame can magnify your problems, but they can't fix what's broken inside. Love without respect will always crumble. No matter how glamorous it looks from the outside, this situation isn't just celebrity gossip, it's a mirror reflecting how many people handle relationships in real life. Too many people rush into something new before taking the time to understand what went wrong. They seek validation, revenge, or distraction instead of growth. They tell themselves they're winning, but deep down, they're just avoiding the hard work of healing. True healing takes time. It requires solitude, reflection, and courage. Relationships are not just about romance, they're about emotional maturity, mutual respect, and shared effort. When those elements disappear, love alone cannot hold things together.